You cannot trade this week unless you know exactly what is going on with this week's economic news calendar, so let's review this together. So as you should know by now, news is the first thing that you should look at before you approach any new week. It is what you should look at before you even open up charts and look at price action. And this is because we want to be aware of where news lies, because news is what injects volatility and energy into price. And for most of us traders, high probability conditions surround areas where there are a lot of volatility, and that volatility gets injected via news events. So we want to know when certain news events get injected, as well as when there might be a lack of volatility because there is no news or because of a bank holiday. We want to know when that is so we can be careful around those days and potentially even avoid trading that. So taking a look at this week, on Monday over here, we have no news. It's a newsless Monday. You know how I feel about those. I am very cautious on these days. The week is just getting started. Think of it as it's trying to wake up from a long nap during the weekend. It's likely not going to make its best move on the first day of the open. This doesn't mean to completely avoid trading Monday or trading no news days in general. It's just a way to tame your expectations and don't expect to make majority of your week's profits on these days. On newsless days, I wait for the 9:30 equities open on indices specifically, and I wait to see if there's some sort of manipulation into some higher time frame point of interest. If there isn't and the open's weak and we really don't do anything clear, I don't take the trade. Again, just react and adapt. Moving on to Tuesday, we have 10 a.m. red folder news. Over here, we're going to still wait for the 9:30 open, but if that 9:30 open manipulates into some sort of higher time frame POI, expect 10 a.m. to actually distribute. In the event that 9:30 doesn't manipulate though, expect 10 a.m. to do the manipulation and then continue distributing in the direction of the higher time frame draw on liquidity. Now on Wednesday, we have FOMC. This is a big 3 news event. I never trade before or during these events, as the volatility is so high on the release and the volatility prior to these events are very low, and they tend to consolidate and present seek and destroy conditions. So I always wait until after the big 3 news event to trade, which over here is 2:30, not 2. Remember, FOMC is a 2-stage news event. We're typically at 2 p.m. on FOMC, we see manipulation, and then 2:30 actually presents the real move. So that's why I like to wait until after 2:30. So on Wednesday, I'm only trading after 2:30 p.m. On Thursday, we have 8:30 a.m. red folder news. That is a beautiful trade day. You can trade prior to 9:30 if 8:30 manipulates, and we get set up prior to the 9:30 open. And then on Friday, it's also a valid trade day because it is after a big 3 news event. So even though it's a newsless day, that big 3 news event, I like to think of it as a tsunami the moment the news release drops, and the wave of that tsunami releases into the rest of the week and carries that volatility out through the rest of the week, essentially. So that's how I'm going to approach this week. It is looking like a good one. Let's kill it. I will be in my Discord giving all my updates. If you're not in there yet, just comment Discord down below and I'll send you the link ASAP.